To get started with Timesheet Sidekick, we'll first need to download it and then install it. Depending on your version of Windows and your settings, you may get a message like this when you run the installer. If you've decided to trust us here at Timesheet Sidekick, click on the More Info link and then the Run Anyway button. When you launch Timesheet Sidekick, it should look something like this. I'm running a slightly newer version. All the textual information which goes into your timesheets is entered into these three columns: category, task, and details. The numeric information, the hours you spend on your tasks, will appear in these columns here to the right. Timesheet Sidekick itself will take care of that numeric data getting entered, but you're also able to edit that data as much as you like. This first column will contain your times for your tasks for the current day. You can adjust the sizes of the columns by clicking and dragging these little gray boxes. Double-clicking the separator will expand the width to the what's necessary to see all the text. Now we'll delete that. I've just pressed the delete key. And we'll size the columns about like this. And make the whole window wider. Timesheet Sidekick visually groups the tasks you're working on by category. We'll demonstrate this by creating 4 categories. So our first category is admin. We'll leave 3 rows for that category and create a second category, customer support. We see the visual grouping kick in now. The section for the admin category is in green and customer support is white. We'll enter 2 more categories now. We're pretending we're a software developer and we're going to be working on new feature X and new feature Y. What we're doing now, setting up our timesheet, we consider to be miscellaneous admin work, so we'll set up a MISC task in the admin category. And we'll select the radio button to the left side of this row, which makes it our active task. The time that you launched Timesheet Sidekick is recorded up here. You may notice the value in it jumping around during the course of this and other videos as I start and stop the application during the course of making the recording. Every 6 minutes, which is 1/10 of an hour, Timesheet Sidekick will increment the time spent on your active task by 0.1 or 1/10 of an hour. You can see when that incrementing is going to happen by looking at this next increment control here. I'm going to pause here and we'll come back when the increment is going to happen. Okay, we're back and we're going to see in a few seconds here the value for admin increment by 0.1. And there it is. So 2 things to note here. This is the column for today, and we've seen it go up by 0.1. But today is also Monday, and so over here in our Monday column, we see the same value of 0.1. The 2 columns, because today is Monday, are basically linked. Let's pretend I've been here doing about 2 hours worth of admin work. I can change that to a 2. When I hit enter, we see the column over here has also updated to 2. Or if I want to edit over on this side, I can change that to a 3, and it's updated over on this side as well. If you want to go for a period of time when your time is not getting assigned to a task, for example, when you go out for lunch, you select the break task up here. Time recorded against the break task doesn't get saved anywhere. Using the break feature is optional. You can do it or not as you see fit. If you prefer, you could do something like set up a break task in your admin category, for example, if you wanted to keep track of your breaks. Over here we have controls to insert rows. I see I've not got much room here for my new feature Y, so I'll put some in down there. And delete rows. And you can also select rows. Selecting rows can be used in conjunction with a delete command up in the edit menu. But it's also handy sometimes just to have one or more rows visually highlighted. Likewise, columns which represent the days of the week can be highlighted, just as a visual aid. I'm going to go away now and set up some more tasks. Now we can see the tasks I've got set up, and I'm going to pretend I'm going to do some work now on design for new feature X. So I select that task and go away, and we'll come back in a bit. We're back now, and this is roughly what things would look like after an 8-hour day of work. Now we'll pause and pretend that we're working for the rest of the week. And this is what your timesheet might look like after a full week. You can see across the top the totals for each day. I consistently put in 8 hours each day with a total of 40 for the week. The times I spent on each task is given down in this column here, like 11.5 hours working on mockups for new feature X. Now, the end of the day, Friday, we're going to shut down Timesheet Sidekick. Pretending this is the following Monday morning now, when I start up Timesheet Sidekick, it opens up with a fresh new timesheet for the new week with no times recorded in it yet, but with all the tasks that I had at the end of last week carried forward into this week's timesheet. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to Timesheet Sidekick.